There's something about the Lamborghini Aventador. It's beautiful, shouty, and like Orson Welles, just has a touch of evil. Lasciviousness alone apparently wasn't enough for the men at Lamborghini. They couldn't leave well alone. Accordingly, they took the big body supercar back to the drawing board, and they made it even more mental, adding, amongst many other things, 50 more horsepower and a big rear wing. And then they christened it the Superveloce, which roughly translated means super fast. Now, just how fast is the Aventador SV? Well, it came to the Circuit de Catalunya outside of Barcelona, Spain, to find out. If you're thinking the SV is simply an Aventador with a big wing and a slight horsepower bump created simply to reinvigorate sales, you couldn't be further from the truth. There are a few systems the Lambo men didn't rejigger in making the Superveloce super fast. Let's start with the heart of the thing, the 6-liter V12. It now has a taller and broader rev range, now redlining at 8,500 RPM, thanks to optimized variable valve timing and variable intake systems. The ISR 7-speed transmission bolted to that vicious V12 has been reworked as well, now shifting gears in only 50 milliseconds. And routing that T-Rex stifling power to all 4 wheels is the Haldex IV all-wheel drive system, which can send up to 90% of the torque to the rear wheels. In fact, it offers so much traction, it could make a tank blush with envy. All told, the SV will do 0 to 62 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds, 0 to 186 miles per hour in 24 seconds, and onto a top speed of 217 not long after. Those numbers impress for sure, but it's the combination of all those that truly astounds. The only people who have felt G-forces like that created behind the wheel of the SV are astronauts. At full tilt in the corners, the SV will make your back ache, literally. And after you get out, if you're not in astronaut shape, you'll be walking like you have scoliosis. Holding the throttle to the carbon fiber floor isn't the only way you'll get kicks behind the wheel of the SV. Shifting the ISR transmission in Corsa drive mode makes you feel like you're pulling the trigger on an anti-aircraft gun mounted on the back of the car. Lamborghini has also fitted the SV with its dynamic steering system, which features variable steering ratio based upon vehicle speed. That means even on the twisty Nürburgring, or out here on the Circuit de Catalunya, the driver doesn't have to wrangle the steering as hard to get the same quick result. The aerodynamic improvements don't just embellish the Aventador's already menacing appearance, they increase vertical downforce by 170% and aerodynamic efficiency by 150%. Though that nose looks less automotive than it does medieval torture device, the SV isn't entirely savage. It has a softer side too. The magneto-rhetorical dampers on its pushrod suspension are surprisingly supple and sometimes pillowy, even when kissing the curbs on the circuit. For as wonderful as this car is, there is a downside. Its rarity. Lamborghini will only make 600, and only 200 of those will be coming stateside. So that means few people will ever see one in person, and fewer still will ever get to experience it. But if you have the $485,900 kicking around, you could be one of the lucky few.